If your chicken thighs are turning rubbery instead of shatteringly crisp, this is probably the step that you're missing. Dry brining is the process of applying salt to the back and the top and letting it sit uncovered in the refrigerator for 24 hours. That allows the salt to pull moisture out of the chicken. That salt is drawn into the chicken. The moisture on top of the chicken is drawn back in. So you have chicken that is flavored throughout and dry skin that is ready to crackle. This is one of those recipes that tastes wildly expensive, even though it's basically just chicken thighs and technique. Yesterday, I salted the chicken so that it would be ready for today. I'm going to show you what that looks like now. It's a little mottled, not very great looking to eat, but I'm telling you, it's going to be delicious. First, I need to dry brine my chicken, so I'm going to show you what that looks like so that you can see what it will look like today versus what it's going to look like tomorrow when it has had time to take in the chicken. So I'm just liberally salting the back of the chicken. These are chicken thighs. I've got 4 of them. And I'm going to flip them over, skin side up, and salt those as well. I'm going to leave this in the refrigerator with nothing on top of it. The air from the fridge will help to dry these out along with the salt. Giving this 24 hours to sit with the salt will have the salt draw moisture out of the chicken. Then the salt will go into the chicken and pull the moisture back in. So that's what we're going to do. I will show you what they look like tomorrow right before we cook them. Okay, here I have the chicken thighs. As you can see that there's that still kind of gushy looking skin, that white part right there. But if you look at the other kind of yellowish part, that is the skin that has dried out. That is what we want to begin this recipe. So I'm going to add some oil to the pan and start rendering the fat from these chicken thighs. So you might be wondering why chicken thighs. Well, I love chicken thighs. I love dark meat. Meat on the bone is so much more tender than something like a chicken breast. I know there are a lot of people out there who do not want to eat meat off the bone. I really don't understand why, but I accept that that's their journey and it's not mine. So I love to have a moist chicken with a shattering crisp skin. I do not want a dry chicken breast that you have to drown in black garlic sauce to even be edible. If you've ever heard the term fat equals flavor, then you'll understand why I'm using chicken thighs. Another reason is you can't have crispy skin without the skin. And you could do this with chicken drumsticks, but chicken breasts typically don't have the skin with them, at least where I buy them. So we're going chicken thighs. Chicken thighs actually get better when you take them past 165 degrees. The collagen breaks down, and instead of having stringy meat, you have luxurious and juicy chicken meat. A lot of people think that high heat alone is what gets you shatteringly crisp chicken skin, but that's not it. You really need to remove the moisture first, and that's why we dry brine. Also, when we're cooking the chicken, we need to have them spaced apart so that they're not steaming. If they steam, you're not going to get crispy skin. You're just going to get flabby, gross skin. Dry brining seasons the chicken internally, retains moisture, and helps the chicken brown better. When you're dry brining, I like to only use salt because salt is really the only seasoning spice that's going to penetrate the chicken. Anything else you put on top is just going to sit there, but the salt will actually go deep within the layers of the meat. So that's really what we want. We can add seasoning later so that we make sure we don't burn anything in the oven. I like to render my skin first by cooking it in a skillet for about 5 minutes, skin side down. That just pulls some of the fat out, some of the moisture out, so when it bakes in the oven, it's got a better chance of being crisp. You need to preheat your oven for a good 10 minutes because you really want to hear that sizzle when you lay the chicken down. If you don't hear the sizzle, that means it's not hot enough. Also, you've got to be patient. I know, it's really hard when you put something down in a pan and you think, I should move this. I should really touch this. I should really push this around. But you should not. First of all, it's going to stick. If it is not rendered from the pan yet, it's going to stick and it's going to rip the skin. It's going to be a disaster. You're going to comment on my channel about how this recipe didn't work. And honestly, I don't want to hear it. So to combat that, we are not going to move the chicken at all. We are going to place it down, let it have its 5 minutes, and then flip it over. If your chicken is sticking aggressively to your pan, it probably means that the fat hasn't rendered off enough and you need to give it time to release from the pan before trying to flip it. Now, while we're rendering the fat from the skin, you might get fond on the bottom of your pan. This is a very good thing. Fond is those little brown bits that clump on the bottom of your pan that you think later, like, oh God, I'm gonna have to clean the dishes, I'm gonna have to scrub all this off. But the benefit of doing a pan sauce is that we're going to scrape all of that up. It's going to go in your sauce, be delicious, and your pan is going to be beautiful. And remember, we're not actually trying to cook the chicken at this point. I mean, 5 minutes on one side is definitely going to give you salmonella. It's just to have the skin render out some of its fat. So don't worry about anything besides that beautiful skin. The oven is going to do the rest. So let's talk about black garlic. Black garlic is not burnt garlic. It is a fermented product, but it has not been fermented, lacto-fermented, which is another recipe I do. It is fermented with heat and humidity. So here it is. It's this little black blob and it smells so good. It smells like balsamic vinegar and molasses and soy sauce had a baby. Black fermented garlic loses the harshness of raw garlic and becomes something completely different. Now I know what you're thinking. I don't have a lemon on hand. I'm not gonna go buy a lemon for this recipe. Well, you're gonna need some acidity of some kind. When you have heavy cream in a pan with this rich black garlic, you need something to brighten it or else it's going to feel very heavy in your mouth. Adding lemon or some sort of acid is really going to brighten everything and make you want to keep eating. If you don't believe me, try the sauce before you add the lemon, then add the lemon, try it again, and come back and tell me in the comments what you think, because I guarantee you're going to say, oh my gosh, that acid made it so much better. All right, so now that we've talked about that, let's get started cooking. I have my oven set to 400 degrees Fahrenheit and it's been preheating for about 30 minutes. And I also have a skillet on the stove that's been preheating the same amount of time to render the skin. All right, I've got my skillet turned on 3. I'm gonna turn it up to 5 just to kind of see where we are. Feels nice and hot. And I'm going to go skin side down. And that is the sizzle that we want to know that this is working. So I'm laying my chicken down and I'm just going to let it heat and cook and render for 5 minutes. And making sure that the oil is getting to all of the thighs. I'm giving it a little bit of a shake because some of the chicken had space, but this guy right here was kind of cramped. So I'm just giving it a little shake just to make sure everybody's got room. Everybody's got their skin touching the pan. While the chicken is cooking, I've set up a pan with a piece of parchment paper on top to be ready for when the chicken's done to go right into the oven. We're going to cook our sauce in the same pan as the chicken, so we're just going to leave that on the stove after it's done. If I weren't making a pan sauce, I would probably just flip my chicken over and cook it in the oven without adding another pan, stainless steel pan, and it can handle that. Okay, so the chicken has had 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead, use my mini tongs to flip them over and make sure the skin is rendered as much as I want it to be before putting it in the oven. The chicken released cleanly without any sticking. It's got a lovely golden brown color, so I know it's ready to go in the oven. Before I put it in the oven, I'm going to season it with some cayenne, black pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. I followed the recipe on my blog, The Bluster and the Burrow, and mixed all those seasonings together. So now I have it in a little bowl. I used about half on the chicken, and I'm going to use the other half for the sauce. Black garlic are like little gummy bears. So instead of using a knife, I like to use this garlic press I have. I don't like this garlic press for regular garlic, but I do like it for this because it makes kind of a paste that's easier to incorporate into the heavy cream. So I just kind of squish it down. Just keep squishing and you'll get a little wormy guys. And they don't have to be perfect because you're also going to be using the immersion blender to get them incorporated into the heavy cream. It's just to make it easier so that you don't have to whip it for so long and create whipped cream. Alright, so I'm just going to leave this here until we're ready to make the sauce. I just checked my chicken. It's almost to 175. It's been in there for about 35 minutes. I'm going to give it 10 more minutes while I make the sauce. So I turn the heat back on the pan. I'm leaving the extra oil in. There's that fond in there that's going to go into the sauce. And what I'm going to do first is just warm my cream. The only reason that I'm warming the cream is because I have made my fair share of black garlic whipped cream when I do this without warming it up. It's not a big deal if you do blend the cream. If you do blend the cream with the black garlic while it's still cold and it does make whipped cream, it's fine because once it hits the hot pan, it's going to melt. It's not going to stay like that. All right, so I'm just going to hook up my immersion blender. And after the cream is a little bit warm, we're going to put it back into the container with the black garlic and mix it together. I have 3 mashed up black garlic cloves in here. Once this gets a little bit more warm, I'm going to add it in and blend it together and pour it back into my skillet. You don't even need to use all of it, just enough to get it to blend, and here we go. Okay, that's good. I'm just going to do it until it kind of looks like chocolate milk and pour it back in. And at this point, we're just looking to heat and reduce. So I'm going to get all the little bits out. And I'm going to add the rest of my garlic powder, onion powder, cayenne, and pepper. I have it set on high because I just want it to get hot quickly, but then I'm going to turn it down because we just want it to reduce slowly. And this sauce can sit for a little bit while the chicken rests. We're just going to let this heat and then reduce, stirring occasionally until it's ready to go. And then we will add the lemon. We will taste for seasoning, add the lemon, and be good to go. Okay, at this point I'm going to turn the heat down to medium because I don't want to scald the cream. I just want it to be hot and have some steam coming off of it to reduce. So I'm going to keep stirring for about 10 minutes, and when we come back, we will finish the sauce and add it to the chicken. Alright, as you can see, the sauce has reduced down. It's gotten darker in color, and it looks delicious. I temp checked the chicken already. It's good to go. It's sitting off to the side and resting so that the juices inside can redistribute and not have dry chicken. We don't want to have dry chicken, so you need to make sure it rests so that the juices can calm down, and redistribute. So now this looks good. I'm going to give it a taste to check for seasoning before adding the lemon. And at this point, I'm turning the temperature off. All right, it tastes really good. It's got sweet, caramelly, molassesy flavors. It needs a touch more salt. It definitely has enough cayenne. Okay, I have it moved off the heat. I'm going to use my citrus juicer to add a tablespoon of lemon. About a half of a lemon is a tablespoon, so I'm going to say that's about a half. Stir it up. I'm going to taste it, and yes, I'm using the same spoon because this is for my husband and I, and we have the same germs, so don't say anything in the comments. I'm going to add just a touch more lemon. Just a little squeeze. There we go. And these recipes, you need to taste as you go so that you're making sure that you like the flavor. Recipes can only get you so far. Perfect. Okay. So now I'm going to put our plates together and show you the final product. All right, here we have the sauce. Looks beautiful, dark brown. It's nice and thick. Okay, and there you have it. The chicken, the seasonings on the chicken got a little bit burnt, but that's okay. Sometimes I like to put my seasonings on a little closer to the end so that doesn't happen, but it's still going to taste great. All right, now I've got my plate with my crispy chicken thighs, my mashed potatoes, and my broccoli, and I'm going to add the sauce. All right, and here we have our crispy chicken with black garlic sauce, mashed potatoes, and broccoli. I'm going to try a bite of the mashed potatoes. I know the chicken's going to be good, but it's kind of hard to hold the plate with one hand and get chicken off of it, so I'm going to scoop mashed potatoes so I can taste the gravy. All right, now I've got a chunk of chicken. It's so good. The sauce is rich and creamy and it clings onto that chicken. And the chicken is really crispy. I don't know if you could hear it from that bite because I wasn't that close up, but it's got a nice contrast between crispy skin, soft chicken, and creamy black garlic sauce. I hope you make this. I hope you love it. If you go to the Bluster and the Burrow, you can get the whole recipe along with any questions answered there. This is an easy weeknight meal that feels a little more special than just regular chicken thighs. So let me know in the comments, have you ever cooked with black garlic before? Is this your first time? Are there any other ingredients that you've tried before that you found when you use them, you actually thought, this isn't that hard? And let me know, are there any other restaurant-style chicken recipes you want me to try next? Black garlic, raw or fermented garlic. This is one of those meals that tastes like it's blah, 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 blah. Dry brining is the process of Dry brining is the process of wow. Dry brining is now I'm getting David from Schitt's Creek. Even if you don't dry brine your chicken first, you really need to pat the chicken. Even if you woo. Really want it to be dry so that we can get a shatteringly crisp skin. I think I've said shattering like 75 times. Dry brining seasons the chicken internally. It helps. Why? What is happening? Okay. I have my. Now, while we're creating the skin, this is an easy weeknight meal. It's. Done?